Morning everybody, it's Mr. McGee here. This video is a safety video on how to safely use the motorcycle quad runner lifts that we have here in the school. Number one thing we got to remember is the lift rated for the machines that we use. There's no question about it. These lifts are good for about 1,200 pounds. We're good to go there. The bike that we're lifting is 750 Vulcan, is approximately 500 pounds, so we're well within the range. We want to make sure, first of all, and second of all, that we utilize our ramp, okay? Don't be a hero, don't try to run the bike into the ramp because it will, or into the lift, because it will wind up pushing the ramp or the lift up against the workbenches. So we're going to push the bike up onto the lift. We'll secure it with straps. No bike or quad should be lifted unless there's straps holding the bike. And we'll also, we have a wheel clamp right here in the front. We're going to utilize this. So let's begin. I'm going to show you how we bring the bike up and tie it down. Okay, the first thing we want to do is make sure we get the handlebars tied. Put a little bit of tension on the straps just to help hold. We don't have to go crazy. It's not like we're hauling a motorcycle somewhere. But we don't want to obviously fall him off either. Okay. That being done, now we want to make sure that we secure our front tire. So we're going to use our wheel clamp and just crank it in. Until the tire is tight against the wheel, or until the clamp is against the wheel. Now, these lifts are pneumatically operated. You can see down here, we have our airline. Over here on the wall, we have a couple different things here to contend with. This is known as a Tremel. After our yellow airline is hooked up to the hose on the floor, we push up, the lift will go up. And if we push down, the lift will go down. But we need to do a few things first, like connect a good airline source to this. So, I'm going to take this airline right here and hook it up to the lower pin on the Tremel. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hook our yellow airline up to the floor where we have our airline for the lift. Now before you lift this bike or any machine, you want to make sure that you remove the ramp from the back. Clearly marked. Remove ramp when lift in the up position. There's a number of reasons why we want to do that. Number one, it's a hazard to walk into. Number two, it can, in a worst case scenario, throw the lift off balance. So we want to be careful with things like that. All right. Couple notes about this airline that's on the floor. After you lift this vehicle and put the lift on the locks, you want to make sure you disconnect this airline. Do not leave this hooked up. It's a tripping hazard, and there's a possibility that you may get distracted, and not realize that the lift isn't on a lock, and now you got a different problem. So now, what we're gonna do, we're all ready, we're secured. I'm going to yell clear so that others know of my intent, and then we'll push the Tremel button up. Clear. Okay, the clicking you heard was the locks. The locks are there to make sure that this lift cannot come down while you're working on it. But you have to make sure that you set the lift on the locks in order for it to work. So as long as you hear the clicking, you get this to the desired height, push this Tremel down, and the lift will go down so far and stop. If it does not, then what you need to do, underneath of here, there are locks located right here. That is unlocked. That will allow the lift to come down, and if you throw this forward, it will stop the lift from coming down. So let's go ahead one more time. We're going to set it on the locks. Bleed off all the air pressure by pushing down on the Tremel. And remember, we need to disconnect the airline when we're done. It's a good idea to step on the one line so that any residual air pressure doesn't cause the hose to fly all over the place. Okay, last but not least, let's roll our airline up so that it's not a tripping hazard. Disconnect our supply line and retract the hose. It's not rocket science, it's not very hard, just we need to be safe about this. By me walking around here and seeing that this hose is disconnected and this lift is up in the air, I know for safety purposes that it's on the lock and everything is good to go.